summer of 2004. My family was supposed to vacation in Kennebunkport, Maine. My father was stuck in meetings, so he was going to come up from Manhattan a few days after us. My mom wanted to drive up. Super annoying to me at the time. But we didn't have a choice, and my brother, sister, and I loaded into the car and started the drive. I was about 14 at the time. Drive was uneventful, but there were various delays, and we ended up getting in a lot later than originally planned. Because of this, the owners of the house we were renting had turned in for the night, and we weren't able to get a hold of them to get the keys. Sounds like horrible planning, but apparently they were pretty strict about the time frame to pick up the keys. My mom, unfazed, decided she wanted lobster, so we went to one of our favorite spots. She called my dad to see if he could make us reservations at a hotel in Kennebunkport from NYC while we ate. We were enjoying the lobster while a guy came up and started chatting with my mom. I figured it was just a friendly local making conversation. During this, my dad calls my mom, and my mom excuses herself to speak to him. Apparently all hotels were booked for the night. Go figure, height of vacation season in Kennebunkport. The plan was for us to drive to the nearest town and just find somewhere to stay until we could pick up the keys for our vacation home. Apparently, the local had been listening into my mom's conversation and came back over once she got off the phone. I want to say there was nothing outwardly off about him. He was preppy, clean-cut, unassuming, and fit in with the clientele. He told my mom he had a big home with a big guest house we were more than welcome to stay at, and his wife wouldn't mind. Immediately, my reaction was F that. No way in the world I was staying in a random dude's house in creepy Maine in the dark. No offense to anyone from Maine, but the streets get creepy. My mom, doing her due diligence, determined this guy was legit. Said he was in finance. My mom was an investment banker. And they chatted enough for my mom to determine he wasn't totally full of it. I called my dad hysterical. He said I was overreacting and that I needed to get out of the city more and accept that sometimes people are just nice. So my brother, sister, and I got into our car and followed him back to his house. The guest house was really nice, fully furnished, but the beds were oddly placed. The guest house had 2 bedrooms, and instead of the beds being located in the middle centered, imagine a symmetrical room layout. They were right under the window in each room, just seemed out of place. Anyway, fast forward, we are all getting ready to go to bed. My mom hears a knock on the door, and it's the guy. He said he just wanted to check to make sure we got settled. Cool. Nice thing to do. About 30 minutes later, he comes back to check in again. At this point, my mom was like, "Thanks, we're good. We will stop by the house in the morning to say thank you." Fast forward another 30-45 minutes, I can't sleep. I'm terrified. We hear this rustling, which is odd because the guest house was nowhere around trees or close proximity to bushes that might cause such a noise. At this point, I see my mom wide awake and look up at the window, like motioning towards the window with her eyes. Let me add, none of the windows had curtains. The guy said it's because his wife was in the process of redecorating. When I looked up, there was a male figure just standing. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I don't know how long he was there for. When he walked away, my mom waited a bit and then told us to get our stuff together. She wasn't messing around. We had my dad on the phone at this point. He was pretty much flipping out at my mom about something, but I didn't hear what. My mom said she was going to put stuff in the car and to follow her out. This was around 2 a.m. When we got into the car, we pulled around to the front of the main house, so my mom could return the key and say thanks and get the fuck out of there. However, when we got to the front, all of the lights were off. Not just all lights, but it looked like no one had been home. Porch light, table lamp in front windows, everything black. Also, the 2 cars were gone, the local's car and what we presumed to be his wife's car. After seeing this, my mom, at this point pretty unsettled, said we were leaving and we proceeded to drive to the gate. The gate at the end of the driveway had been padlocked shut from the inside. It wasn't a super strong gate, so my dad said rev it and just get out of there. We drove straight back to NYC, not speaking the entire time. We have never returned back to Maine, and my parents refused to speak about it. I asked a family member one night about it when he was drunk, and all he said is, "They didn't tell you?" The actual owners of that house were on vacation. I'm assuming my mom or dad followed up with local authorities and figured that out, but never told us. I don't know who that man was or what was planned that evening. I was curious as to whether there were any known serial killers or murderers who were in the area at that time, whether traveling through, etc. So my partner and I just moved to a desert community in the American Southwest. I've always wanted to live down here, and so far I absolutely love it. I love the quiet, living on the outskirts of town with desert to the horizon in my backyard. How friendly people are, the stars at night, the wildlife, the space. I'm not bothered by the occasional snake or scorpion or coyote in my yard, but recently I've been getting the feeling that there have been other creatures in my yard as well. Even if I'm not imagining it, I don't know if this is worth doing something about or what I can do. I'll explain. My partner got a lucrative job offer from a hospital here, where he covers the night shift for his specialty at most of the local hospitals in 3 states. Small hospitals in remote areas often offer nice incentives to bring people in from large cities, and since we were looking to move here anyway, we decided to take the position for a couple of years and see if I could find a job in my field here in the meantime. At the moment I'm working remotely, and I stay on the night shift to be able to see my fiancé more. We get up 2 to 3 p.m. and he goes to work, early enough for me to run around and do any shopping and chores in the afternoon, and he gets back from work, 5 a.m., and we head to bed around 7 a.m. It's an intense schedule, but he has every other week off. This is important later. So after 5 p.m., I'm home alone all day at the duplex that we rent from an elderly couple down the block. We used to have a medical resident living on the other side, but she would never talk to us, and she just moved out. Apparently she tore the place apart, so there are contractors working in the other side during the day most days. So I sit at the kitchen table and work during the night, occasionally going out to walk our old dog, get the mail, or to water the plants in the courtyard. The entire house is visible from the courtyard, because there are windows and glass doors leading to basically every room from there. To help get more precise feedback, I've included a hand-drawn map. The place I usually sit at night is marked with an X. Okay, from here I'll just detail the incidents as they've occurred with minimal editorializing. 1 4 weeks ago. I went back to sleep after my partner left for work. About an hour later, at one point I woke up and realized that my dog had been barking for an unusually long time and doing his danger bark. The lawn guys and delivery folks come into our courtyard and we just moved in, so I figure it's something like that. Still, he knows the delivery guys and neighbors by now and they usually leave quickly. He must have been barking for 2+ minutes by now. I sit up in bed and look out into the courtyard. There is a man I don't recognize and he's acting weird. He looks kind of like Willem Dafoe. He's near the front door, trying to look into the windows around the side, looking into windows progressively further from the door. Without thinking, I call out, "I'll be right there," thinking he needs a signature or something. The guy steps back quickly, turns around, and speed walks out of the courtyard. As he does so, he gives me this extremely malevolent stare. I have never quite seen anything like it before. It startled me because he looked right at me, dead in the eye through the window, and just looked disgusted and hateful. But during the day, you can't see through the blinds from the outside. I've checked. How did he know where I was? I admit this event freaked me out, and may have laid the groundwork for my impressions of the potentially perfectly normal events outlined below. I flash back to this moment regularly for some reason. 2. 3 weeks ago, strange stuff starts to happen. My partner offers to work some extra shifts on what would normally be his week off, so I'm often home alone. A few times I hear what I think must be one of my elderly neighbors around the side of the house, and when I go over, there's nobody there. I start to hear someone walking around the outside of the house at night. The area is surrounded by gravel, so unless someone steps slowly, you can hear things moving around. When I'm laying in bed working on things a few times, I become acutely aware of noise just outside the bedroom window. 1 on the map, late at night. I start checking the area with the flashlight when I go outside. I hear bipedal footsteps on the roof multiple times during periods when the neighbors confirm that no contractors are supposed to be up there, often at night. The feeling of being watched a lot at night begins, and I start leaving the outdoor lights on all night while I'm there, especially in the courtyard. I don't take showers alone because I sometimes hear footsteps on the roof when I'm in there, and there's a skylight over the shower. I research, buy, and install a security system and a couple of cameras in the courtyard. 3. 2 weeks ago. This is when things get more serious. I pull into my parking space and see one of the elderly neighbors peering into my bedroom window in the afternoon. I greet him and he says he's going around the side of the house to activate the sprinkler system that happens to have the hub on our property. Unclear if this is related. I put up opaque clings in the windows of the bedroom to block some of the light when we're sleeping during the day. As soon as I do, I stop feeling watched from the bedroom window, but begin feeling uncomfortable that my view of the courtyard is obscured. I feel better for 2 days. The next night, I start feeling watched from the living room windows while I'm working, and eventually from the kitchen window especially. That night, I have a small panic attack and spend a lot of time in bed under the covers with my dog in the room with me. I don't know the source of my discomfort and keep telling myself I'm being paranoid and chalk it up to reading some creepy stuff I read the week before. I have to cancel an event because I'm up all day unable to sleep due to extreme anxiety. I talk at length with my partner about getting more cameras, but we don't have the money, and I'm still in denial about the reasons for my discomfort, so I drop it. Stuff in the courtyard is sometimes moved around and I watch the camera to figure out the neighbor woman did it. Beer cans and some other stuff is found around the property that isn't ours, but I think it's the wind. Things related to our cars and garbage cans start being messed with, but you can see around for miles and there aren't really many people here. I hear tapping on a window and ignore it. 4. Last week. We were traveling for part of the week. When we got back, we were in good spirits. My partner went right back to work and my nights became predictable. Feeling good and doing things until a few hours after it gets dark, suddenly feel shitty. Not wanting to do things that put me near the windows. Decide to curl up in bed with my dog in my room and refuse to move until partner gets home. This has happened every night this past week. Finally, I noticed my dog kept staring at the kitchen window with both ears facing toward it, ignoring commands or questions, for long periods of time. My very curious cat repeatedly kept trying to see something outside of it as well, during the night. This finally jogged me back to reality, and I realized that I feel this oppressive sensation of being watched every night starting around 10 p.m. and continuing until dawn. It's mostly from the kitchen window, but honestly, the whole house freaks me out now. There isn't really anywhere to run that doesn't have windows except the garage or the bathroom. I take my phone and a knife with me everywhere I go. I constantly check the courtyard because every room has a door leading to it. Tonight, I took my dog out and heard someone walking towards us from the side of the house and called out and shone the flashlight over there, but it stopped and I saw nothing. Normally, I would have gone to investigate, but I had the strongest feeling that I shouldn't. When I took the dog out yesterday around midnight, someone was coming across the field. I take him to with a flashlight, and when they got near me, they shut the flashlight off and I didn't see them after that. And they didn't respond to my calling out. I feel like I'm in a slow-motion horror movie, but during the day and partner's weeks off, everything is usually fine, so I don't know what to think. I can't tell whether any of this is real or not. I don't have any close friends here. I'm planning to buy a camera and motion lights for the back when I have money next week, but I know this sounds crazy. I don't know if that's a good idea. I think whoever it is, once I've seen them, they're going to escalate. I don't know why I think that. My partner wants me to get my concealed carry and another younger dog. This isn't known to be an unsafe area at all, but the properties are spaced pretty well. Additional, I'm a mid-30s who is not easily spooked. I've worked in law enforcement and SAR and I feel confident in my ability to defend myself. The landlady was very insistent that we not change the locks. She said that a cleaning person who stole some of their things had a key to the lower one, so not to use that one, and just to use the deadbolt, for which supposedly only she and I have keys. Sharing this experience from literally last night because 1. It's creepy as hell, at least for me, and 2. I want people to learn from my experience. This is a precautionary tale. I understand that this was my fault, but maybe if I can help one person by telling my story, it's worth it. I don't drink as a general rule, but once a month or so I'll go out with friends and binge. My friends and I had a great night at a bar in the city and they left. I was chatting up a cute guy, so I decided to stay. I went back to his place. I'm ready to head home, so I call an Uber to pick me up. I don't know where I am. I know the city I'm in, but not my exact location. I order the Uber, but it's taking forever, so I cancel it and try again. Pretty soon, a car pulls up. I drunkenly mumble something like, "Is this the Uber?" and I hop in. Mistake. Ubers apparently are supposed to have some kind of marking on the vehicle. The guy pulls away and starts driving. We're chatting, I'm fumbling for a cigarette, and the next thing I notice is that we're headed on the highway, but in the opposite direction of where I thought we needed to drive. and we're going at a solid 90 miles per hour. Then I get a call from my Uber driver. He's there, and I'm not, because I'm in a car with a fucking nutcase. I start texting my friend, frantically counting off mile markers for her. Then I realize that's going to do jack because she's probably drunk too. So I call 911, but I realize this guy is crazy. He's refusing to let me out of the car. So I've got to do it on the sly. It's been 40 minutes now. I'm terrified. I don't know where I am. I don't know who this is. We're driving at over 100 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic. This guy is trying to get me to hang up my phone call. Yo, get off the phone. The fuck are you calling? Better not be a snitch. And also smoking pot, so I don't want to do anything that might provoke a violent reaction from him. I start chatting to the 911 dispatcher as if it's my friend, praying that they'll catch on. Hey girl, it's me. Yeah, I'm with someone right now. We're driving past highway exit. No, sweetie, it's not my Uber. I thought it was, but it's not. It's a shame you can't come and meet me and bring friends. Thanks, sweet baby Jesus. The operator catches on. He gets me to stay on the phone while he sends cops, and we develop a code. If I see cops, I'm supposed to casually put my hand out the window, which looks semi-normal because I'm smoking a cigarette. We pull into some random little housing complex and he busts out some powder and forms 2 lines. I now have confirmation that he does drugs, which means he's probably emotionally volatile. I relay this to the operator in code. Oh girl, I wish you were here right now. This guy just busted out the coke. You'd love it. He's taking a really big bump, man, after my own heart. Pretty soon I can see the lights from the cop cars, so I start waving my hand out the window. At this point, I don't care if he's onto me or not. I don't know if he has a weapon, but I slump down in my seat just in case things get hot. The cops surround us, get him out of the car, and then, once it's safe, they extricate me as well. They whisk me to the hospital for a drug test and evaluation, and that's where my story ends. On my way to the hospital, as I'm explaining all this to the officer, I find out that of the guy's 40 years on this earth, he's been in federal prison for 30 of them, for violent offenses. I want people to learn from my mistakes, and if nothing else, call 911 and stay on the line. Okay, this happened today, and it really messed with me. I've been thinking about it all day and all evening. I took my 5-year-old son and 3-month-old daughter to the playground today to meet a friend and her daughter. It's got regular playground equipment, a huge parking lot, and a big grassy area and trees surrounding the play area. On the other side of the trees is some sort of development thing they're working on. The area this school is in is pretty rural. It's just a bunch of twisty roads and random buildings. I've never thought about or noticed this until today. We get to the park and meet up with my friend. Another mom that we know is there with her 2 girls too. The only other people there is a dad with a little girl and a boy that looked to be somewhere between 10-12. So the moms are all sitting, chatting, playing with my adorable daughter, having a good time. The kids are playing together. Everything is good. Eventually, all the kids from our group kinda wander off through the playground doing their own thing. The seesaws are in a shady area. Next to them is a big stretch of grass, then the trees with the semi-developed area behind that. My son wants to seesaw, but nobody wants to do it with him. I get up to go help him, and the 10-year-old boy comes over and says, "Hi, do you want me to play with him?" Which was a little strange that he asked me and not my son, but I said, "Sure, bud, go ahead." So he gets on the other side and starts seesawing with him. His demeanor was so strange. He didn't smile. His voice was completely flat. He didn't say a word to my son. He just seesawed with him. My son was oblivious and chatting away at him. After a few minutes, I started walking back to my bench and I hear the boy start talking with my son. Okay, so maybe he's shy around grown-ups. I sit down and start talking to my friends, and the dad walks near us to probably go up to his car, and I say, "Hey, it was really sweet for your son to offer to play with mine," and smile at him. He looks at me and goes, "He's not my son." I don't know who he is. He walked over and asked if I wanted him to play with our daughters and then just kind of followed us around until you guys got here. He sort of laughed like, "Weird, right?" and shook his head. I got a very uneasy feeling in my stomach and looked over to the seesaws. They're gone. I jump up, hand my daughter to my friend and run in that direction, yelling my son's name. I see them walking almost to the trees. The trees are not close. I'd guess a football field or so away from the play area. I got this awful feeling and ran as fast as I could, yelling my son's name. He turned around and started trying to walk to me, and the little boy grabs his arm and tries to pull him toward the trees. He gets upset and starts saying, "Hey, let go of me." Now usually this is not a quality about my son that brings me anything but trouble. But he does not like to be grabbed, pushed, or pulled, and he has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So when he gets frustrated, it usually comes out in aggressive ways. I was so thankful for this today. He starts punching the boy and headbutting him like a little crazy person. The boy lets go as I get to them and runs to the trees. My friends are finally realizing something is going on, so they're standing at the edge of the play area looking confused. My son is crying. I'm shaking. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I asked my son where he was going and he said his friend wanted to take him to see Ryan. From Ryan Toy Reviews. It's his favorite YouTube channel and he talks about it non-stop. He told the boy about Ryan and apparently the boy told him that he knew where Ryan lived and did my son want to go visit him and play? So of course my son said yes. I don't know what the intention was. It was a kid. I don't understand why he would lie to my son. Why he wanted him to go in the woods, why he was so weird. Maybe it was innocent, but I don't think it was.